What's going on, folks? Welcome to the channel. Today, taking a look at CASPER crypto and changing it up a bit here. We are going to look at a weekly chart of CASPER and share a couple things I see on the weekly chart and kind of what we expect here moving forward, both on the upside and the downside. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so. Join the community here, and you'll be, of course, notified, updated when we upload those new videos. Have a couple interesting videos coming out in the week or so ahead, a little bit different than what we've been doing, and you'll be posted when those are uploaded. And there's a couple things that you might not know about that is happening over on Uphold, the Uphold platform, and we'll have a video out about that in the coming week or so. So stay posted, get notified, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and welcome to the channel. So we're going to take a look here at a weekly chart of CASPER. We're on TradingView, the charting website here, and you can see that CASPER has been trading according to this data since, looks like the first week, it was the 10th of May 2021. So we are almost 1 year. This thing is only 1 year old. It is very, very early in its stages of potential here. Can you imagine, to jump off topic real quick, buying XRP when it was only trading for 1 year on the market? I think a lot of you would go back and do so. So we are basically in a sideways trading range. I'm going to throw a box up here to give you more of a visual for CASPER. And we'll basically take this data right here. And why do I show you this? For a couple of reasons. So we had this massive volatility when CASPER first started trading, which is pretty normal of most stocks and something like that, assets, whatever, crypto, when they start trading, is the first day of trading or the first week of trading. It's usually pretty wild in the markets for whatever the reasons are. Insiders, the hype of a new project, you'll see these wild swings. And if you look at different charts of CASPER, you'll get a little bit of different pricing here. Not all of them go up to 65, but the pair I'm using here does. So basically, most of CASPER's life here for the past year or close to it has been in a sideways basing structure. So this is basically a accumulation area, and the price is trying to find some support, which so far it has. Down here in this, looks like that 509 was a low over in here, and we put in a very similar price over in here at 546, and looks like 570. So far we have a nice floor of support for CASPER, and that would be nice if that held. Obviously, it could fail, and we could be heading down much lower. And the next target, so I've mentioned this in a couple CASPER videos going back now, that if that 5 cent area failed, I'd be looking for a test of this low over in here, which was looks like 3 cents on the dot. I don't think we'll get down there, but if 5 cents breaks, then that is where we're heading. So time will tell. Just something to keep in the back of your mind, that if this 5 cent area, this floor of support, let me get a line on the chart. If this 5 cent fails here, which is the red line on the chart going horizontal right there, then I think we are heading down to that 3 cents. So this is 5 cents. And if we head lower from there, we're probably heading down into this area here, which would be that 3 cent low. But so far we had a nice double bottom off the 5 cents. So put in a low here, looking back a low there, and then we rallied quite a bit. So far that's a double bottom. But just want to give you both scenarios here, both the bullish to the upside and the bearish to the downside. Don't want to be caught off guard, and you want to have some realistic expectations here. So at that time, it was, I think the odds favored more of a double bottom here than a massive break to the downside to 3 cents. We got that move to the upside, and we'll discuss a little bit more about that shortly here. So we are in this giant basing structure for CASPER, basically since it's been trading here for almost a year now. It is April 11th today. So basically another month or so will be trading for about 1 year for CASPER. So at some point here in these basing structures, you'll get a breakout. And I just mentioned basically the bearish, the short scenario. But at some point, you'll get a breakout here, and what a lot of us are looking for would be a breakout to the upside, and I do think that is coming, but usually in the markets, things take longer than one expects. So we have all this energy built up here in this base, and it's coiling up energy, and at some point that energy that will be released. And I know a lot of us are looking for a release to the upside. So at some point this thing will break out to the upside, and all this energy down in here will be released, and it'll be, the odds favor it being very, very powerful, and what we're looking for is that powerful move to the upside. So at some point here, we will get a, let me get a different line on the chart. At some point here, we will get a break above these old excuse me, these old highs here. So we have a high over here on the second week of August, another high here on the 29th of the week of the 29th of November. So that is some overhead resistance, and you can see, and I'm going to throw a couple more boxes up on the chart. You can see that we have this trading range right here. So that's in the early days. For anybody who was around then will remember those days. And then we have this trading range that we're in currently. So you can see that we have most of CASPER's life here has been finding resistance at this old area here. So this whole box, the upper portion of this box, which basically lies right around that 23, 24 cent range, is all, it has bumped its head and has been finding resistance, overhead resistance at this old area. And you can see that right in here. So these highs correlate with the bottom of this box here. So it has found resistance at that old area there. What we want to see is that resistance turn into support. So we want to see this box get flipped and turn into support. So just like if we started to trade down in this area and the price was bumping its head on what now is support. So if the price trades down here and then starts to bump its head up at that 5 cent area, it would be just like this area, but it would be over here at much lower prices. So if you could flip this over, and I'll show you that in a second, if we could turn this area into support once again and look for the price to get back up in that area. Well, that's what we want to see. We want to see the price get back up in here, turn this into support, and then ultimately head higher. And I do think that's coming. It depends on the markets, and things take time, as I mentioned in the earlier in the video here. So at some point, we will get a break out of this range, whether it comes this cycle or later, or comes tomorrow. We just don't know yet. And so far, we're finding resistance at the 200-day moving average, which is not showing on the weekly chart, but it is on the daily chart. At some point, though, I do believe we will get a very, very strong breakout past this trading range and then past these highs over here. So I know a lot of people, they want to see CASPER break out today or yesterday or tomorrow, whatever. And you have to remember that this thing has only been trading on the market for less than 1 year. It is extremely new, and things take time. They're doing a lot with the project. Things just take time. You have to have patience. Time in the market is one of the ways that the insiders, the whales, will shake people out of different stocks and cryptos. It is time in the market. They will push the market in a sideways area for much longer than one expects. People will throw the towel in, and then they will send the price in a big way, usually to the upside. And people will be chasing after that position, and they'll get a bad fill, and it's just not good. So if you're in a position for a reason, until that reason's no longer there, then you should probably hold on to it. Of course, not financial advice. So at some point, we will break out of this basing structure. There is a ton of potential energy building up here, and it will be released. Sometimes you'll get a move, and I mentioned this before, you'll get a move to the downside, and then quickly, if there's going to be strength showing up in this thing anytime soon, you'll get a reverse move right away. And sometimes that'll be the trigger that sends it into that higher high or all-time high, or a high out of a range, which is this thing has been in a range for almost a year now. So also another thing to keep an eye on. All right, so let's throw up a couple things here on the chart. We're going to throw up some fibs on obviously on the weekly time frame. We will take this high over here, and then we'll go down to the low, which is around 5 or so cents. And you can see what this tells us, and this tells us that when CASPER breaks out of this giant sideways range, we are heading much, much higher. So a full 4.2 fib off this swing high to this swing low on the weekly time frame gets us up to an 84-cent CASPER. And then above that, we have some more fib levels. A 34 fib gets us up to a $6 CASPER. So it is pretty crazy to look at this, and you can see the potential here for CASPER, and who knows how long this will take. Probably sitting at a more realistic expectation up in here at these dollar range or so fib levels before you get up to a multi-dollar CASPER. But the fibs don't lie, and the numbers show the potential here for CASPER down the road. Maybe it takes a couple years, maybe it takes a couple months, but to watch this unfold, I believe people who are investing in this project right now are going to be rewarded quite well. And as long as they can hang in there with the patience and things don't change with this project for whatever reason, I think there is the risk to reward right now, to me, is very well, especially sitting where we're at these lower prices, right around 7 cents. So that is quite interesting. And go ahead and put up a weekly chart. Go ahead and draw the fibs, and you'll have to add these higher fib numbers in to get these higher prices, but you should have all the way up to the 4236 on the standard settings here for TradingView. And you can see, I know people who own a ton of CASPER. So if you're getting up to these 50, 70, 80 cent levels, the reward from 7 cents or 5 cents up to there is very, very good. So let's throw up another fib level. We'll take this area right in here, basically right there. And then we'll actually swing down to that, still that right around that 5 cent area. So similar pricing here. A 3.6, a 4.2 gets us up to that 90 to $1 range. You can see that right here. The 3.6 is 95 cents and the 4.2 is $1.10. Very, very cool. And above that, we have looks like a 2.5 and an $8 CASPER using the 34 fib level up in here. So you can see the potential here for CASPER and where we're sitting now down in here at 7 cents, and the return all the way up here into these multi-dollar ranges at the higher fibs it's actually hard to think that people don't see big potential in this project, but of course can be wrong, not always right, and of course not financial advice. But go ahead and throw the fibs up on the weekly chart and let your mind run wild here. Calculate those returns, and they are quite interesting. So wouldn't bet the farm on any one individual project, but I think holding a good portion of projects that you believe in or have done your research in, or you like the charts, that's the way you got to do it sometimes. So of course, not financial advice. So go ahead and let me know down in the video comments your thoughts on CASPER. I just wanted to put out a video of a weekly chart, so not too much has changed on the daily. Didn't want to repeat a bunch of things that I said in the last video, so I figured we would just switch it up here. Look at the weekly time frame, which I normally never do, and draw the fibs up there on a couple different levels and kind of see where we're at using those different time frames. And before we wrap up this video, we'll take the crazy scenario, which I know a lot of people enjoy, and you know, I'm sure it's worth something. Take that high wick there, it's like around 67 bucks, and at 3 cent level. And you can see obviously we're well below the 0.236 fib level using that high wick. I mean, just to get you back to there, according to this, which seems crazy, is this almost it's a $15, we'll call it, almost a $16 CASPER just to get the party started up there. And you can see that you're at a crazy multi-$100 CASPER to get you up to a full fib to a 4.236 fib level. It's a $280 CASPER, and then you're all the way up to insane levels up in here. So I just wanted to share this. I don't know how valid this is. I mean, it is what it is. Assuming there was prices traded up in here in this $60 range, then, you know, these are all valid, but I don't know how accurate that is, all of that. I mean, a $60 CASPER down to a 3 cent in that 1 week, you know, anything's possible in the crypto markets, but a little hard to believe. But anyways, the fibs don't lie. So if this was real price traded action here, and then these are real fib numbers all the way up into here, which is pretty wild, but I'm not going to hang my hat on this one here. But just wanted to share it with you guys. Pretty crazy. I would expect more of a couple dollar XRP before you get into that triple digit or even higher, which is pretty insane. And we'll throw a little bit, what I think anyways, a more reasonable expectations. We'll take this high here, and we'll just go to this low over here since it's past that time frame. And you can see this seems a little bit more reasonable here, up to a $2 or so, and then all the way up to an $18 CASPER using this high, which there definitely was price traded action, which is around that 60 cents. And then you have these higher fibs up here, up to a 2, 4, 11, and $18 CASPER. So if you see where we're at now and you see these higher fib levels, that return will be life changing. So let your mind run wild. Go ahead and check this out. Keep updated on the project, their website, Twitter, all of that good stuff. All right, guys. Thanks for checking out this video. Before I ramble on too much, we have some merchandise over on a couple different stores. Those links are down in the video description. Check those out. Help support the channel. Greatly appreciate all of that. Join the channel. Join the community here. And as always, leave some comments down below. I enjoy seeing whatever everybody thinks on this project, other projects, and I'll get back to all of those comments. All right, guys, have a fantastic trading day. I'll catch you in the next one.